Hey guys, it's GameFace here, and welcome to episode 1 of my new Corona series with Ajax. Now in today's episode we're of course just going to be starting up and trying to see where we can get in the transfer window, trying to sign a couple of players, also trying to maybe send some players out on loan, try and develop some players as well. And yeah, we're looking forward to the start of this new Corona series. You guys voted for it and you absolutely smashed it on the amount of votes for Ajax. They had about 52% or something, which was much more than the other teams that we did in the vote. Before we get into today's episode, if we could try and hit 100 likes, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the channel or just haven't subscribed, then please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. It'll be absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we will be getting on to trying to sign some players in today's episode, and also trying to maybe get to a game if we can. There's no pre-season. I've decided against that, so we've got more time to train our players, and yeah, we'll wait and see how we get on. I have kind of set up a couple of things before we get into the episode. First of all, that is the Youth Academy side of things. I really want to focus on that in this career mode, and we're going to try and develop some young players, which obviously Ajax already have, but we're also going to try and develop the Youth Academy as well. So first of all, I'm scouting some players from the Netherlands. Again, the type on there is any, and you'll see getting some Danish technically gifted players, as well as some Colombian physically strong players. Now the reason I've gone Colombians is we've got a couple of Colombians already in the side, so I just thought it kind of made sense to try and add to that contingent. This is my starting 11 at the moment. If you want me to make any changes to it, you think that certain players play better in certain positions, let me know. Also, my pronunciation of these names might not be quite spot on, so again, pick me up on that in the comments. That's absolutely fine, and I'll try and remember how to pronounce those names in the next episode. But I think our squad isn't looking too bad. I think it's about the right size. There's a couple of players I want to move on. Players like Clement I don't really see myself using. He's 20 years old, and I can't really see him being able to grow enough to have any sort of benefit to the team. So I think he will be one of the players that will move on, but overall the actual squad looks pretty decent. We'll take a look at some of the objectives that the board has set us. First of all, youth development, obviously massively important, a critical objective on this road, as we expect. Grow two Youth Academy players by at least 10 overall points. Play them in 10 matches, either as part of the Stars 11 or coming out as a sub. Really tough one to get right, that. You've got to try and find the right players, but I think to get them into 10 matches, we should manage to just about do it. Sign 3 players from the Academy assigned to the midfielder position. That's why I've got some technically gifted scouts. I'm trying to find some technically gifted players at the moment so we can get some midfielders in. And brand exposure, that's a high, again, another high objective. Sign 1 crucial first team player assigned to the 4 position, so we've got to try and make it a new signing for a striker. That obviously is very important for them. And we've got to gain £21.25 million worth of shirt sales this season as well. I think we should be able to achieve that, to be honest. Financials also important to the board. Keep player salary growth under 20%. Hopefully we should be able to do that. It depends obviously how much these players are wanting. I imagine their wages won't be as big as some of the Premier League teams. Long-term targets within 3 seasons, increase the club worth by 50%. So basically add another 50% onto the value in the next 3 seasons. We should be able to do that, I'd imagine. And domestic success, win the league title and win the cup as well. And intercontinental success, reach the semi-finals of the Europa League. We are in the Europa League. We've got the exact same team that Ajax had in real life to play against in the groups as well, just to keep that side of things realistic, although the other sides haven't been changed. Shirt sales is, like I said before, one of the objectives, and we have set up a scout report and everything like that, so we're pretty much ready to get going now. We'll wait and see who we can get in the transfer market. I don't have that many players shortlisted at all, just a couple of strikers from the Premier League at the moment, but I don't know whether to go realistic on this or just try and sign the best players we can try and get. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts, what you'd like me to do. Of course, youth is going to be a huge part of this growth, and we've got to try and develop it because we've got some fantastic players here, and we've got to try and make the most of it. First and foremost, I won't talk of the youth. We are going to try and train up here, and that's one of the reasons why there's no pre-season tournament at all, because I want to spend that time training the players up instead. I should also mention Nuri as well. Obviously, in real life, we saw not so long back that he did get permanent brain damage. Of course, I'm going to try and do everything to keep him in the team and use him as much as possible. Huge shame that it has, I think, ended his career, to my knowledge, at such a young age. He's got such potential. We are going to continue to use him as normal. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. And yeah, we are going to be trying to train up some of the youngsters here. I think Nuri will be one of them as well, because he has got such a great potential. And it's a huge shame, of course, what has happened in real life. Okay, so these are the 5 players we're going to focus on to begin with. We will be rotating them around every now and again. Maybe every month we might just rotate them around and see how we get on. on. Not expecting any progress, of course, just kind of starting things out a little bit, with hopefully a bit of growth this week. In fact, yeah, Clivert's gone up to 71. That's a little bit surprising, but he has already gone up on the first day of training. Okay, so I've sent our scouts out to try and see what certain players are looking like. We'll hopefully get those reports back in the next few days. Again, another chance for us to do some more player development. It's really tricky to know exactly what sort of players to get. Part of me wants to buy from other Dutch teams and hopefully try and bring in the right players there. But of course, it's difficult to know whether I should go Premier League or whether I should, like I say, keep a bit more realistic. Good news for us this week. Nuri has gone up to 75 overall already, looking a fantastic talent for us. Really looking forward to getting involved in the side at such a young age. 75 overall is very, very good. Okay, so these are some of the scout reports that I've got back, and some of them are from, I think, rival teams here, so I've got to be a little bit careful who I put bids in for, and I don't know how often that happens in the Dutch League. Again, I'll probably need your guidance for those of you that know it a little bit better than myself. But we're going to look at a new striker. It's not going to be to replace Stolberg, it's going to be to support him. So somebody like this sort of guy here does actually look pretty decent as a backup striker. I think he could be one that we'll take a look at. We'll add him to our shortlist. Unal's obviously from Manchester City, currently on loan, but certainly a player I'd be interested in looking at some point down the line. I don't think obviously we can get him now. A left winger here as well, another guy that I was looking at, which I'm quite interested in. We'll wait on his scout report. There's quite a few different strikers that I've got reports back on here, some of which are probably a little bit out of our budget, to be honest. Like this guy, £8 million is going to be a little bit too much. But certainly we need to look for somebody around that sort of early 70s type overall. 73 on, and this guy here, 71 overall, will be about right, I think. So I'm also looking for someone with a bit of pace as well, so this guy certainly suits us like that, and he can also play in a few different positions, which I really like to see. So initial £2 million bid will go in for him, and hopefully he will slot in on the bench for us at some point. But we will also put in another bid for this guy as well, 73 overall. Two strikers from the same team that are after him. We'll go £4 million as our initial bid. And this guy's also a very interesting player as well. I've got a scout report back. In terms of his value and his wage, it's absolutely fantastic, really, really good. I am going to put in a bid for him. I'm not so sure just yet whether he'll fit into the team. I'll look at that afterwards, which seems a strange way around of doing it. But I think we'll go with an initial bid, and I'm hoping that we can actually slot him into our side. I think stats-wise, he's really perfect for what I want. Good stamina on him, and decent pace as well in that midfield, as well as a good short passing stat. So he actually looks very, very good from South Africa. Long passer, looks decent. We'll go £4 million again, just kind of test the waters. They'll probably want a little bit more than that, I think. If he was to come in, he would probably replace the likes of Soraro on the bench here. He's a similar sort of player, actually. He's probably a bit faster and a bit better in terms of speed and his stamina, but he's not quite got as much quality on the ball as him. He's not quite as physical as well. 5'5" is not particularly big, so he would end up dropping down to the reserves and would have that other guy I've just mentioned on the bench. Okay, so the first two bids we put in for strikers have been accepted, £4 million and £2 million. We'll continue to pursue this one. 15 grand a week is a lot of money, though, relative to our budget in that sense, so yeah, I think we will have to match it, I think, but we'll wait and see what he comes back and says. I'm assuming he'll agree personal terms with us. 4-year contract seems fair, and I think we'll go score rotational player. I'll play it down a little bit. We can always up it to important if he's not happy with that. This guy wants 10 grand a week, and I'll also give him a score rotational player as well. Okay, so now we've got some of the scout reports back on some of the less realistic ones that we've got from the Premier League. Of course, some of the Premier League players do go out to the Dutch leagues. I know I've seen that with Manchester City, I think, and I'm pretty sure Chelsea as well. So it wouldn't be unrealistic in that sense, but I think the actual players I'm looking at here, I can never see really going out on loan to the Dutch league, but it could be an option for us. I mean, they're not particularly great overalls compared to the guys we're looking at in a second, but they are obviously very, very young. I don't think they would be that beneficial to us for a season, to be honest. This guy could be a little bit better. 68 overall, 20 years old. We do have a lot of similar sort of players to that that are already in the squad. We'll continue to put him on the shortlist, and we'll look at him maybe at another time. FC20 do accept our bid of £4 million for the CDM. I actually expect them to come back and want more. But they're good for us that they have accepted it, and it's going to be 10 grand a week as well. A little bit less than I was anticipated given what the strikers wanted just then. And we will go important first team player, 3-year contract, and if we could get him in, I think he'd be a good player for us. More player drills again this week, the exact same 5 players yet again. Let's see how he gets on. Do we have any progress? Not in terms of overall, but actually a lot of stats go up there, especially for Cliver. He's looking really, really good so far. Contract accepted there for the first striker that we took a look at, £4 million. We obviously do have quite a restricted budget to work on, so we'll wait and see what the other transfer offers come back as, and then we'll decide. Okay, so all of them accepted, so very, very happy with that. We are going to accept this one, £4 million. I really want to try and sign him. He looks a fantastic player, I think, and I'm hoping will be a good option for us off the bench. So yeah, I think one South African replacing another there for us, but a better overall, better quality, and that's of course what we're after. I think very similar age as well. De Jong's a player that I want to give a bit more time, so it might be the case that I don't know whether we should. I don't want to get rid of this guy. I think he could be a really good option. Maybe we get rid of this youngster instead that I can't see being particularly helpful to us, but he's 18 years old. He's got a bit of growth on him, I think. Okay, now to make a decision between these two strikers. Again, we're going to sign the more expensive one, and we're going to pay £4 million yet again for this guy. We won't bother with the other guy. He's slightly faster, but I want a little bit of a better finisher for us off the bench here, so we'll reject this guy. £2 million would have been actually a decent amount to get him in for, but I'm happy with this sign that we've just made, and he will slot in on the bench for us as another option. I think he's going to be a decent. I didn't want anybody that was going to overtake Dolberg. I want to give him a chance to grow and play every single game as our starting striker. So that's why I've gone with someone that's not a fantastic overall. He's good enough for the bench, really. And that, of course, leaves us with a very difficult decision about who to kick off the bench. Which of course is going to be very, very difficult to manage throughout the whole season. For now, it'll have to be Kluivert based on overall, but I certainly want to try and get him in the team as much as possible. More player development for us this week. Again, decent increases actually on the stats. Got our goalkeeper going up to 78 overall. Not actually heard of that goalkeeper before, but he's 20 years old and already 78 overall, so I think he could be really good. 6'3" as well, so I think he's all around looking like a fantastic goalkeeper for us this season. First transfer offer in that we've had, and it's for Kasper Dolberg. It's £11.5 million from Hamburg. And yeah, not going to bother selling. I don't really have that many players I want to sell, to be honest. There's one or two that I consider bids for that are like 20 years old and not fantastic overall. But certainly the players in the starting 11 I have no intentions of selling. We did actually want to talk about those players that have left in real life that are still in this side. I think Tete's gone to Lyon. Obviously Klaassen's gone to Everton, I think, in real life as well. I'm not so sure about anybody else. I think everyone else is still there from that starting 11. I want to try and keep those two because I think it's important. In the first season, I want to try and keep those two anyway, because I think it's important to try and have something to build on. We obviously don't have loads of cash. I can't really afford to be spending loads and loads of money, so I think we'll keep those two for the first season. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments section below. I think it's the right thing to do for the first season of the Road, and then obviously we might look at offers next season. Also, Riedwald as well has gone to Crystal Palace, or is near enough gone, so he's another player that I want to keep hold of, maybe even past this season as well. I think he's a fantastic talent. Okay, so getting our scout reports back already. We have got a month through this Road so far, very, very quickly, of course, because we are just looking at transfers and bringing in one or two players. I'm going to wait, I think, before I spend the next £3 million of our money for next episode, because I want to hear what you guys think about players I should bring in. I don't actually think there's that many names I need to bring in right now. I think we've already got a lot of the players I want to go forward with. So far, we do have a very young, talented Colombian here. He looks fantastic, really good potential. I've not used the sign future star or anything like that. These are just the players that we have got from our really good scouts, which we were lucky to get. We have got a couple of other players here, but I have really high standards for the Youth Academy, so I'm not gonna, I don't think, sign them unless I'm tempted to go with him. Overall wise, does look quite good. We'll sign up 6'6". I don't usually go for those sort of potential players, but we will just give in a little bit until we get some better players to overtake him. Again, with the Danish players looking fairly good actually so far. A couple of decent players, 92 potential just then. I don't think there's anybody else. In fact, yes, this guy is someone that we want to sign up. Decent potential, and I think will be quite good, potentially. Great job with our youth programme. Already signed 3 players into the Youth Academy, assigned to midfielder position. That one's done very, very quickly. Final report on the Dutch players. Will we have any Dutch players? These are the ones I actually wanted the most, of course, because we want Dutch players in a Dutch team. We've got 2 really good players here that we're going to add into our Youth Academy, and hopefully they will be given a chance to grow in that academy. We've just been given an extra, like, £7 million or something. Maybe it's from the season tickets. We've suddenly just gone on to £10 million. I don't really know why. Transfer offer in here for Clement. This is one of the players I have actually transfer listed. I'm interested in getting rid of him. 20 years old, 66 overall. I just don't really see him going particularly far. I think in 3 or 4 years' time, he'll be a low 70 overall player, and I just don't really think it's good enough. So we are going to get rid of him, and we're going to make sure we get a fair amount for him, though, despite us transfer listing him. I want to try and get 150 grand for him, which isn't a huge amount, but I think we should do that. And I'm potentially looking at the replacement for him, which I did scout. He was 68 overall and 20 years old, so a slight difference there and a slight improvement in overall, which could be his replacement, to be honest. And they've come back and matched it, so he will probably be leaving in the next few days. The guy that I was mentioning to replace him is this guy, which is, I think, from one of the rivalries that Ajax have. I'm not so sure again about the rivalries. I quickly sort of researched it to see exactly who they were, and I think this is one of the teams from my research that have a rivalry with Ajax. Not really too sure, but that's just what I read. So this could be the guy that comes in to replace Clement. I think he's the right sort of player that we're after. He doesn't have very long left on his contract, and he can play as a striker actually as well. So does seem to fit quite a few different boxes there. I think we'll go with a £1 million bid to begin with, just because he's got 11 months left on his deal. Okay, so on to the first game of the season. This will be really interesting. Of course, we didn't have a pre-season, so it's always very risky just diving straight into a league game. But we're going to do it this episode. We'll just have time to play one game, and then we'll obviously get into more matches next time round. This is the side I'm going to go with. It's the starting 11 you've already seen a couple of times already. And yeah, we're going to try out some of the different players here. Again, this is the first game. I literally have no idea how these players play in game. So it's a whole new sort of experience for me, and I have really no idea what to expect. I've implemented a set of tactics throughout the team, which I should probably show you, to be honest. A custom tactic here, which you can have a look at. Obviously pause the video if you are interested in it. Also a couple of instructions as well, which I'll put on. I'll show you them now. Okay, so these are the instructions I always go with. I always have one of the fullbacks always on overlap, and we do have the two holding midfielders there on stay back whilst attacking. And then we've got the centre attacking mid on get into the box for crosses. Traore's on stay forward, stay wide, and get in behind. That's the same for both of my wingers. Dolberg's on stay central and get in behind as well. Let's get on with the game and see what we can get ourselves the first 3 points of the season against FC20. Well, here we go at home for this game against FC20. Let's wait and find out how he gets on. Of course, it's a very different sort of team for me to play with, and I literally have no idea what to expect. I'm hoping we can have a good performance to open the season. Also, I should mention, for those who don't know and are new to the channel, we are playing a legendary, and also the sliders are slightly in favour of the opposition as well, just to make things even more difficult. Dolberg, he has it, he's going to shoot. Oh, what a strike, great turn. Just blaze it over the bar at the end, but a good start to the game for us, a strong start. It's kind of been at both ends of the pitch, to be totally honest, but we have already shown that we're looking pretty good going forward. Dolberg, great chance here. It's a great opportunity for our centre attacking mid to shoot and score, and he has done. I need to get used to pronouncing his name. I think it's Ziak, but I'm not 100% sure. He puts us in front nevertheless, and we're winning the game 1-0 just before half-time. It's been a good first half for us. The pressure has been mainly on FC20's defence, to be totally honest, and we have managed to put ourselves 1-0 up just before the end of the first half. And yeah, really good performance so far. Passing the ball round really well, and some good runs from midfield too. That's it for the first half. Still winning the game 1-0. We'll get straight onto the second half now and hopefully add to that scoreline. Oh, well played, Younes. Running through straight from kickoff. This could be a 2-0 already. Oh, the finish is not great. Did not manage to direct it into the corner. It's for some reason gone straight down the middle there. Of course, not what I was aiming for, but made it very easy for the goalkeeper. Should have put us 2-0 up there, but a really good start to the second half already. Put them under pressure. Traore cutting inside onto his left foot. Shooting, and good save this time. Oh, they've opened us up really well here. It's a good opportunity for FC20. The first proper chance of the game. He shoots and he scores. Didn't quite manage to, for some reason, stop and hold him up. I don't know why that didn't happen. I tried to just kind of stop and prevent the shot, but for some reason the player kept on running. He just cuts inside. It's a really easy finish for him. And yeah, we just, for some reason, didn't step up as a defence there. I don't know why I've ran past him trying to defend, but puts it past the goalkeeper. It's 1-1, and that'll certainly make the last 40 minutes of the game very interesting. Okay, so the first two changes, just less than 30 minutes to go here. We're going to bring on our new signing at holder midfielder, and Neres will go play on the left-hand side, or the left winger. I think it's Sean, I think is how I'm going to pronounce it. Younes also going to be off as well, and that'll be our first two changes. We'll make the third one, I think, at some point. It might well be Nuri that we bring on, or the new striker that we signed. I think we'll play this one short, try and drag a man out if we can. It's going to be onto that holder midfielder. It's just come on, gets blocked brilliantly by one of the defenders, and it will be cleared. Falls to Dolberg. He's going to go for a cross now. Dolberg into the middle. Traore. Oh, we've managed to get ourselves another goal. Dolberg with the assist, and Traore for some reason in the box. Surely should have been the other way around, but he scored the header nevertheless and put us back into the lead. It's 2-1 now, and that's only a couple of minutes after the substitutes were made. Great header into the bottom left-hand corner from the low knee, and just manages to get away from his man. There wasn't really too much difficult movement about it, to be honest. The defender didn't follow him, and it's now 2-1. Okay, final change, about 20 minutes left. Nuri will come on. We'll take off our other centre attacking mid that was playing there. Ziyech is what I'm going to go with for now, unless you guys correct me in the comments. And yeah, we've got about 20 minutes to go. Nuri going to switch it out there to Traore. Loads of space for him to run into here. He needs maybe a cutback option if he can find one. It's a great option there to class, and it was saved by the goalkeeper. Sadly, it was put right at him. Great chance for us to again get ourselves a third goal, but sadly was saved by the goalkeeper. Traore going to switch it out there. Great pass to Neres. The substitutes with the strike saved by the goalkeeper. Another corner for us very late on here. It'd be nice to try and get ourselves a third goal if we could. Neres will go for a cross here. Good delivery into the back post for our centre-back. Not the greatest header, But that is it. We have won the game 2-1. The first 3 points of the season. Really happy with the way it was started. I never really expect to win the first game of the season when you have no pre-season and it's the first time playing with the team. It's always going to be very difficult. I think we've come out and played really well there. 12 shots, 10 of which on target. Deserved winners as well. And yeah, very happy with our first game of the season and our first 3 points as well. On to some play drills now before we sim a few more days and before we end today's episode as well. We won't be playing any more games. We'll just sim the next couple of days ahead. We don't have too much progress this week in terms of the drills. A couple of stats going up. Clive very close to 72. Reedwild also close to 75. And Dolbig not too far off 78 as well. So some good potential progress over the next couple of weeks. And then we will change it up once those guys have gone up. Another transfer friend, this time from the centre-backs. One of our younger centre-backs, 18 years old, 62 overall. I'm going to loan him out for a year. I don't really see him having too much game time with us. So I think it's fair to do that. I'll just quickly check, though, that we do have enough centre-backs to cover him. Yeah, I think we do, to be honest. So we'll send him out on loan, and we've got enough cover, I think. We've got a right-back that can also play there, as well as a couple of different midfielders, I think, as well. Okay, so first of all, player sold, and that means that Clement has now left, and we've got 575 grand from that deal. We've also got another bid being accepted here. That's for the winger that's coming in to replace him. That's £1 million that they've somehow accepted. I expected them to want more than what his value was, to be honest. He wants 9 grand a week. We will go ahead and match it, and I will kind of wait and see what you guys seem to think of this deal in the comment section below. Like I say, I think there's a slight rivalry between this team. I'm not so sure the extent of the rivalry. Maybe if you are an Ajax fan watching, you'll be able to tell me. We'll go score a rotational player, and I think that will be a good deal for us. So that concludes today's episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If we could try and hit 100 likes, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the channel or just haven't subscribed yet, then please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. It'll be absolutely fantastic. And I'll see you guys for the next episode, which won't be tomorrow, but the day after. For those who are new to the channel, then I have 2 career modes, the Man City one and also the Ajax one now as well, and I alternate between them every other day. So with Man City tomorrow and then Ajax the day after. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.